Hey, what's going on? So I just platinum Dragon's Dogma 2, and I thought I'd give some quick thoughts on the game. Pros for me, I enjoyed the story for what was there. The game did feel a bit short on that aspect, so I guess that's a pro and a con at the same time. I thought visually that they did a good job, so I did enjoy that. Definitely an improvement over previous installments for sure. And at no point did I really feel like the music felt out of place, so that was something that I also noticed. And I will warn you that even though I enjoyed the game and I put a lot of time into it and I did everything that I could possibly find, I have more negatives than positives. So just warn you ahead of time. And I'm just going to go right into it because I enjoyed the combat and that's a positive, but it's also a negative for me because I didn't like how much they limited the skills and only giving you 4 skills when you had like 10 or 12 that you were upgrading or that you could use. I did every single vocation, maxed everything out, um, and it really sucks to have all those skills and only be able to use 4. And then for the people that unlocked a warfare, then you only have 3 skills you can use. And I also didn't like the fact that something as valuable as a skill like levitate was locked to either the sorcerer or the mage. And that's another thing that I have to give it a negative for is the vocations. A lot of them felt lazy because you have a fighter and then you have a warrior. Nearly identical. The only thing that's different is one uses sword and shield, the other one uses a greatsword, a hammer, an axe. But ultimately, they both fall into either the fighter or the warrior category. And then you have archer and magic archer. Then you have mage and sorcerer. The vocations felt really lazy, and then they throw in a trickster, which throws everything on its head. But I completely despised that class, and I wanted to be done with it as quickly as possible. I just thought that class was terrible. I don't understand a lot of the moves or what purpose they really serve, and it doesn't really do any damage. It's meant to be a distraction, but I just didn't like the way that it played. Then you get to such things as the traversal of the world, and it's a big world, and in order to get around fast, you have to use fairy stones, fairy stones, fairy stones, and it got old after a while. It would have been nice to if they had incorporated like some kind of animal that you would train in order to, be like a horse or a griffin that you fly. They really could have been more creative with their execution, but unfortunately, they're too motivated by trying to get people to open their wallets for the microtransactions, and because that is what I believe. Because at the end of the day, you know, all these video games get tested, and these things still get through. For example, one of my biggest cons, one of my biggest annoyances, is all the banter coming from the pawns. There is no way people weren't going, oh, maybe they're talking too much. Maybe we should stop them from doing that before this game released. That should not have been in the final release of the game. The amount of unnecessary talking and repetitiveness is ridiculous. And I don't know why developers keep doing all that useless banter in video games. You know, I I would believe the idea is, oh, to make the game feel more alive, but in actuality it does the opposite for me, because nobody would want to be around somebody who just keeps saying the same thing over and over again. Nobody. So it completely does the opposite of what they're trying to do. I feel like, there's people saying game of the year for this game, and I feel that this game missed way too many opportunities to elevate itself, and I'm not even sure that I would qualify this game as a $60 game with all of the bad decisions that went into the game. I, however, will tell you, I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think it deserves all the praise it's been getting. I'll be curious what happens with the series as it moves on. But overall, I enjoyed my time for the most part with Dragon's Dogma, even though the story was short and didn't do too much. I'll say I think the biggest positive this game currently has for me is it has tremendous potential to grow and become something bigger, in my opinion. But for those of you who are still on the fence, if you're still on the fence, wait for a sale, because at the end of the day, who doesn't want to save money? It's not a bad game, but it is short. And if that is something that's going to impact your decision, well, then take that into consideration. These are my thoughts on Dragon's Dogma 2. If you want to talk about it, hit me up in the comments. Maybe I'll be able to help somebody. I don't know. But keep on gaming.